Hey guys, what's up? Danny here, and today we got some really good news coming out about Biden and Ukraine. So Biden and Kiev pledges 500 million more military aid. Japan commits 5.5 billion. Live Ukraine updates. So President Joe Biden made a surprise visit to Kiev. Japan announced a generous financial aid package, and People's Court put Russia President Vladimir Putin on trial for the crime of aggression Monday as the war with Ukraine approached the one-year mark with no end in sight. Biden also announced an additional 500 million in weaponry for Ukraine. The State Department pegged the figure at 450 million plus another 10 million in emergency aid for Ukraine's energy infrastructure, which has been damaged by Russian attacks. Putin thought Ukraine was weak and the West was divided. He thought he could outlast us. He was just plain wrong, Biden tweeted. 1 year later, here we stand together, united with the people of Ukraine. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said his country is pledging another 5.5 billion in assistance because of strong concern that Ukraine may be tomorrow's East Asia. The People's Court in The Hague, Netherlands has no legal powers, but prosecutors said they will present evidence that Putin committed the crime of aggression by unleashing a devastating war that has killed thousands and left towns and cities in ruins. So, developments. Ukraine's energy infrastructure has become more stable and energy imports are nearing zero. The state's utility, Ukrenergo, announced the company cited favorable weather and gradual increase in daylight hours. Starting in October, Ukrenergo's key network facilities suffered extensive damage from Russian missile and drone attacks, meaning the company will need significant resources and time for complete restoration. Regardless of whether it's true, Russia will likely claim capturing the disputed city of Bakhmut to coincide with the invasion's one-year anniversary Friday. Ukraine's defense minister Alexei Reznikov said he believes the West will transfer combat aircraft to Kiev within 1 or 2 months. Biden and other Western leaders have thus far rejected Ukraine's pleas for aircraft. King Charles III met with Ukrainian troops undergoing 5 weeks of basic training in Wiltshire, England. So basically, the West right now, they are slowly but surely giving Ukraine very good weaponry, and hopefully very soon, because I'm Ukrainian myself, I want to return to Ukraine, and I actually want to just like experience life there again, right? So basically, the reason I feel like the war started again was because Biden showed weakness in the Middle East, right? Basically, he was pulling out with troops, right? And he wasn't being a good commander, and Putin saw that he didn't know what he was really doing in the Middle East, right? Like ISIS thrived under Obama, right? ISIS was kind of not a thing under Trump, and now it's like, there's more chaos in the Middle East under Biden, right? Because some of these people, they want to be a little bit more politically correct and they don't want to offend some type of cultures or religions or anything like that, right? But at the end of the day, there has to be toughness, and with toughness comes standards, right? So that's kind of the main thing with Biden, is that he himself, he's kind of a weak-minded person right now. He is giving a lot of aid to Ukraine, and potentially what Biden's mindset, it could actually really help out Ukraine, because he would be giving weapons and more money, and the fact that Russia ain't gonna be doing shit. Russia's fucking pussy. Then Russia's just a pussy fucking country at that point, right? So, if Russia's not gonna do shit, then it's like, the West is gonna prevail, and Russia ain't gonna become shit, right? Now, apparently there's been theories that Putin has cancer and everything like that, right? That's very possible. He could be out of power very soon. So, if he is, then maybe the U.S. could potentially try to manipulate Russia. And, that's the main thing about the U.S. is that some of the leaders in the U.S. are not very tough. And Russia has a very manipulative and authoritarian government that the West, they just kind of really don't understand now. The West needs to be a little bit manipulative with this type of stuff, right? And they have to show toughness. So hopefully Ukraine gets their land back. But the war did start because of Biden, because he did say some very derogatory comments against Putin, and you cannot disrespect Putin because he is a powerful person, right? No matter what people say about Putin, yeah, he's a bad person, but he's a very powerful person, right? So if you do disrespect powerful people, right, that's kind of the consequences that you get, right? Now, I do think that Ukraine is going to be good, but the only issue right now is that I don't completely think that Ukraine is going to get all their land back, and I feel like whatever Russia has already took from Ukraine, right, that's going to leave an impact on Ukraine, making it a weaker country in the long term, right? And that's kind of how everything is like running down right now. So, you know, I do think that Biden is doing a good favor by giving all these donations to Ukraine and stuff, but I do think that Russia has already taken the land, and yeah. So let's see. So Zelensky ecstatic as Biden makes pilgrimage welcome to Kiev. So several European leaders have visited Kiev since the war began, but Biden's trip could be unprecedented. There are few, if any, examples of U.S. presidents traveling to an active war zone where there's no U.S. troop present. Joseph Biden, welcome to Kiev. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky wrote to his official Telegram channel, "Your visit is an extremely important sign of support for all Ukrainians." It was Biden's first visit to Ukraine since Russia's launched its war a year ago this week. It came ahead of a 3-day visit to Poland, Ukraine's neighbor and most committed ally. It was also symbolic because it comes as Ukraine has been intensely lobbying the U.S. for more weapons to help fight back against Russia. So yeah, no American president has traveled to a war zone country without any military presence. So Biden's visit there was very, very symbolic, right? Russia dismisses everything. Fate of 8 million Ukrainian refugees unclear 1 year into war. So let's see. So again, guys, you can pause the video if you guys want to read more about, what it says here and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, the best thing that could freaking happen is that if the U.S. tries to kind of like manipulate Russia or something, right? And, it's just not gonna work, It's already too freaking late, right? The U.S. has already showed way too much weakness to like the world itself in general. So like again, Russia is gonna be doing all this immature stuff and killing people for absolutely no freaking reason, because that's just how the world is sometimes, right? That's just how it is, Sometimes you gotta be really, really happy that you're in America, right? Because some people in Ukraine, they're freaking going through all this freaking shit, right? And they're just happy to be alive. And here, people are crying over some small shit like their phone being dead or something, it could really be much worse, Y'all gotta really think about how safe it is here in the U.S. Let's see. So we got a bunch of U.S. weaponry headed to Ukraine. This is very, very good news. So, and there is a Chinese diplomat that's traveling to Moscow, may meet Putin. So Wang's trip comes at a time of high tension between the U.S. and China, whose surveillance balloon was shot down by an American fighter jet February 4th after it discovered floating high above sensitive U.S. military sites. Blinken and Wang talked about that incident and other matters Saturday in Munich. Afterward, Blinken said there was no apology from China. Blinken also said he warned Wang against China providing weapons to Russia in its war against Ukraine, adding such a move would have serious consequences for the relationship between the two superpowers. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs tweeted Monday that it is the U.S., not China, that has been pouring weapons to the battlefield in Ukraine. The U.S. is in no position to tell China what to do. China will never accept U.S. finger-pointing or coercion on China-Russia relations. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters his country and China are allied in nature and have a lot to talk about. So, yeah, I mean, they're probably going to meet up and stuff, and what could potentially happen when they do meet up is that they're going to, like, make plans about, what else to do, because, the U.S., blah, blah, blah. There was, like, that, like, shit shot down and stuff, but the U.S. is not backing down, and they're, giving all these weapons and stuff. So we'll see what happens, but if China could potentially snake Russia out, that would be the best option, right? So if China goes on the U.S. side, that would be really, really freaking good. But yeah, because the attack on Ukraine is absolutely horrible, that would have never happened under a president that's like extremely tough and stuff, right? So again, but yeah, Biden, yeah, he's like weak and stuff, but yeah, he's showing some symbolism. But hopefully this could potentially work, right? But I do think that when the war does end eventually, right, there is going to, Ukraine is going to become a weaker country in and of itself. But hopefully just like stuff goes uphill, and the U.S. is helping Ukraine even more. So I think in the end, even though Biden did say stuff about Putin and he did show military weakness, that in the end, I think that everything is going to turn out really, really good for Ukraine, because the U.S. isn't backing down, and they're going to try to make Putin look stupid. And Putin has been like moving very, very weird recently, right? To where he's like, you know, he's just moving kind of weird and stuff. Like he's just like, he got cancer apparently, so maybe he's trying to do as much as he possibly could. Maybe he's gonna look stupid in the future, right? That's a possibility. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a great day, and peace out.